Ladies and gentlemen, the program scheduled for the day. After the inaugural session, we have a short tea break. Panel 1, thereafter, will focus on cryptocurrencies, fintech, and the rise of a new economics. Panel 2, blockchain in governance and service delivery. Thereafter, we break for lunch. And panel 3 will focus on the social impact of blockchain. Then we break for tea. And about 4 p.m., blockchain concepts presentations on winning ideas from the hackathon. And finally, at 5:30 p.m., we have the prize distribution. This is the program at a glance for this day. Honorable Minister for IT and BT and Tourism, Government of Karnataka, Shri Priyank Kharge. Joined by MD SAP Labs India, Mr. Dilip Kumar Khandelwal, Principal Secretary, Department of IT/BT, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Partner Ernst & Young, Mr. Prakash Jairam, and Director IT/BT, Ms. Salma K. Fahim. ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಚೈನ್ ಕಾನ್ಕ್ಲೇವ್ ಕುರಿತಾದ ಈ ಚಿಂತನ ಮಂಥನಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bangalore Tech Summit held in last quarters of 2017 opened fresh and challenging avenues to scale better heights of excellence in tech world. And one such promising path is the blockchain conclave. This 15th day of February 2018 records an insight into blockchain conclave as we all come together for a knowledge building exercise. And so on behalf of KBITS, we extend a warm welcome to all our esteemed guests on the dais, all you invitees and esteemed participants. And our hearty welcome to our guests, we convey it with lovely flowers. May we request Advisor IT/BT, Shri Rajkumar Srivatsa, to kindly present these bouquets to our esteemed guests. Ladies and gentlemen, now the state anthem will be rendered. May we request all of you to be in standing position. Nada Gite.
जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते, जय हे कर्नाटक माते, जय सुंदर नदी वनಗಳ ನಾಡೆ, जय हे रस ಋಷಿಗಳ ಬೀಡೆ. जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते, जय हे कर्नाटक माते, जय सुंदर नदी वनಗಳ ನಾಡೆ, जय हे रस ಋಷಿಗಳ ಬೀಡೆ. जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते, ಜನನಿಯ ಜೋಗುಳ ವೇದದ ಘೋಷ, ಜನನಿಗೆ ಜೀವವು ನಿನ್ನಾವೇಶ.
ಜನನಿಯ ಜೋಗುಳ ವೇದದ ಘೋಷ, ಜನನಿಗೆ ಜೀವವು ನಿನ್ನಾವೇಶ.
ಹಸುರಿನ ಕಿರಿಗಳ ಸಾಲೆ, ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕೊರಳಿನ ಮಾಲೆ.
ಹಸುರಿನ ಗಿರಿಗಳ ಸಾಲೆ, ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕೊರಳಿನ ಮಾಲೆ.
ಕಪಿಲ ಪತಂಜಲ ಗೌತಮ ಜಿನನುತ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ, ಜಯ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಸರ್ವ ಜನಾಂಗದ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ತೋಟ, ರಸಿಕರ ಕಂಗಳ ಸೆಳೆಯುವ ನೋಟ.
ಸರ್ವ ಜನಾಂಗದ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ತೋಟ, ರಸಿಕರ ಕಂಗಳ ಸೆಳೆಯುವ ನೋಟ.
ಹಿಂದೂ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ, ಪಾರಸೀಕ ಜೈನರು ಧ್ಯಾನ.
ಹಿಂದೂ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ, ಪಾರಸೀಕ ಜೈನರು ಧ್ಯಾನ.
ಜನಕನ ಹೋಲುವ ದೊರೆಗಳ ಧಾಮ ಕಾಯಕ ವೈಣಿಕರ ರಾಮ ಜಯ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಕುಡಿದಾಡುವ ಗೇಹ ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದೇಹ
So, good morning, everybody. We're going to start with a quick pop quiz. No using Google. What's the price of Bitcoin right now? First hand up. Yeah, so that's closer. So anyway, so it's around. Yeah, some people need to get paid in Bitcoin to give an answer as well. So anyway, jokes apart, the reason to start with Bitcoin is, I think that's what's really generated. It's close to $9,667 right now. But essentially the volatility of the price of Bitcoin and other crypto in the last 6 months, from close to 20,000 to 7,000 to close to 10,000, is essentially one of the main contributing factors, I think, that started off the blockchain interest amongst pretty much everybody in the world. Yeah. So even your Panwala, I'm sure, is thinking of buying Bitcoin down the street. But anyway, what's interesting is that thanks to that, governments have now started getting really interested in using the underlying technology, blockchain or distributed ledger, for creating various government use cases. And governments around the world are experimenting with these use cases. In fact, the Dutch government has a project office for blockchain, and we have one of our distinguished panelists here who would be talking about that. Japan has started regulating blockchain. Land records have become use cases in places like Dubai, and we've got Sakar from IBM Dubai who would be talking about that. In the US, courts have started, a court in Delaware, I think, has started accepting records on a blockchain as court evidence. And in India too, there's a lot of activity with various governments around blockchain. So when the government of Karnataka approached EY, where I'm a partner, on doing something on blockchain a few months ago, we actually conceptualized a roadmap, which I'll walk you through briefly to set the context of why we are here today and what we hope to get out of this, right? So clearly, blockchain is a new technology, very promising, touted as the new internet. And there is a lot of expectations that it can change governance and bring about transparency in governance, etc. So the government of Karnataka, obviously, with the IT hub that Karnataka is, wants to be a front runner in using blockchain for the public good. So what we did when we conceptualized what we needed to do was not try to do something, build policies or roadmaps in an ivory tower, but actually take it to the ground and get experiences from people that have actually done work in blockchain. So we started this off with a hackathon, which many of the distinguished guests here are were participants to, and there are some winners here as well. The hackathon comprised 5 use case patterns. So I'm not calling them specific use cases, because what we did was we talked to a few departments and got their specific problem statements and generalized them into 5 problem patterns. The patterns were identity and privacy, government records, which was specifically realized using a land records problem, traceability of produce, and then there was interdepartmental workflows, and forgetting the last one, Mr. Srivastava. So in fact, Mr. Srivastava was helping us out on this. And the 5th one was around direct benefits transfers or incidence-based payments, right? So all of these are problems which are relevant not just to broad problem statements, but also to pretty much every department in the government. Then we invited hackers to participate in a hackathon to create solutions for these problems. And the intent is that the architectures and the types of solutions that they create can actually be packaged as reusable knowledge, design patterns, architecture patterns, and applied to multiple proofs of concept. So today, we will also end the day with the prize distribution for 10 of the winning teams. The hackathon got an immense amount of participation. There were 60 teams competing, 50 of them actually finished. They've created 3-minute videos, which we'll be showing you at the end. Right, and then fast forward to today, the next step is we've got international speakers in 3 panels and an EY team that's acting as the knowledge aggregator of what we hear. The idea is to take these ideas into what becomes a roadmap for Karnataka. Right? The aim is Karnataka wants to accelerate the adoption of blockchain in government, maybe try and get 30 use cases to a proof of concept phase within the period of a year. We'll be releasing a consultation roadmap today on the Conclave website and inviting comments from all of you. And all of this will, in a month's time after the consultation process is completed, go into what would be a roadmap by the Karnataka government to accelerate the adoption of blockchain in the government. Subsequently, some of these proofs of concept may be taken up as full-fledged e-governance projects by the rest of the departments. So that is actually the big question, right, which we would debate during the rest of the day, right? What do we do with blockchain in a multitude of areas, and cryptocurrency and its use in governance, and how does it improve social good, right? So that's a quick context-setting brief for our day today. Each one of you in the audience is a valuable input provider to this process. So I thank you all for coming, the dignitaries from abroad, the participants from industry and startups, our hacker friends who endured or enjoyed rather 2 nights of hacking, as well as government officials who are here to give us your inputs, right? So please do feed us all your problems, concerns, questions through the consultation process over the next 4 weeks, which will be done offline, right? So this is to kick off that consultation process as well.
Thank you, Mr. Prakash Jairam, for all those inputs. Thank you once again. Well, it is said that blockchain represents the future of financial transactions, and may this future be bright and promising. With this fond hope and wish, we now have the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. May we request Honorable Minister Shri Priyank Kharge.
Talking about taking up this journey on blockchain, people said, oh, the government knows blockchain. So then they said, look here, blockchain is different from Bitcoin. And yes, we said, yes, we know. But today, I think after almost a 6 months journey, we have been able to establish some kind of trust between the blockchain community, between the developer community, and also what we are doing. And I think one of the very important features was the blockchain hackathon, which was taken up. And in this journey, we were also ably assisted by Ernst & Young, EY team, Prakash on the dais and his entire team. And we had a tremendous turnout about a month back. Almost 500 people volunteered to come. It was a short notice, almost 15 days notice, and we said that, look here, there's a hackathon and there'll be prize-winning entries and all. And we also curated and identified 5 use cases, and those 5 use cases was worked on by the community, by the teams, and of them through the judges and through the I must also mention IEEE. I'm not seeing them here, but yes. So IEEE, and I recall almost a year back, IEEE were the first ones to organize an event with international speakers, and there I saw that that was a paid event, and there were almost 250 people at the crack of the morning, 9 o'clock, queuing up to hear what is blockchain and how it can be taken up. So there is a lot of interest, and Bangalore is the place to be. Government of Karnataka has always been working on how we can adopt the best of the technologies, the most futuristic of the technologies, and nothing better than blockchain. We all know blockchain can be used in all industries, industries and governance, wherever you require confirmation of transactions, interaction between different user entities, and this for the government is very, very important, because within the government also we have a lot of assets, lot of records in which transactions are done. The critical decisions are being made on the basis of this information and these records. Maintaining a trail, a trustworthy trail, immutable records, etc. is very critical. And the stakeholders are from various quarters. So we need to get inputs from all of them. Why should we have government which should control? We should have a system in which it is a self-governed, self-driven kind of system. And blockchain offers such a platform for it to be made into a system which people can trust. And ultimately, it boils down to trust. You can trust a system, you can definitely use that system. And that's how blockchain is envisaged to be, not only in government, but also in industries, in logistics, in financial technology, and a number of other fields. And we are very happy to find international experts who have chosen to come here, responding to our request. And they will talk about how blockchain can be used in government, it can be used in industry, and the coming 3 technical sessions will talk about how we can take this forward. We intend to have a white paper and then perhaps translate it into a policy document. So, Honorable Minister, Mr. Priyank Kharge has been the inspiration for this. He has been leading from the front on a number of new initiatives that we have taken, and Karnataka, you will definitely find great number of initiatives, and we are so happy to have him here, and I'm sure that you will hear from him about what is the roadmap for the future. We have Mr. Dilip Khandelwal, who is MD of SAP Labs. SAP Labs, again, is a very, very trusted partner, and they are also, beside participating in this blockchain conference, will also be taking up training of 5,000 people in cutting-edge technologies to youth, and this will be taken up in collaboration with the NASCOM Foundation and the Government of Karnataka. And we have a program, ambitious program of Yuva Yuga, and this Yuva Yuga program is to train 1 lakh people every year into new technologies, and so therefore maintain the edge Karnataka has over other states, over other destinations, and our biggest feature is that we have the talent pool to conquer any technologies, to work on any technologies, and that's the reason why we have global innovation centers and global research and development centers from all across the world. So I welcome all the industry participants and the international speakers, and look forward to a very fruitful and engaging session for the day. Thank you.
Government of Karnataka keeping its doors wide open for blockchain technology. Promising words by Mr. Gaurav Gupta. Thank you so much, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we all understand, bringing us the Internet of Value is blockchain, and more light on this in his address. So please put your hands together and please welcome MD SAP Labs India, Mr. Dilip Kumar Khandelwal.
I think before I start, I think the government of Karnataka and specifically the minister deserve a round of applause, guys, because
I was talking half an hour with him, and I think that the energy and the excitement and the wish he has for this state, leveraging the key technologies, and one of them is blockchain, is just remarkable. And I think, I don't know how many topics we talked in the last 30 minutes, but I just really felt that if government is taking those initiatives and really looking forward in leveraging those aspects, I think it's not just the corporate, and then if the government starts also doing in the right way, I think we are in the right path of leveraging those disruptive technologies which will change our lives. In that sense, I would really want to thank Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Mr. Minister Priyanka for inviting, and we at SAP wants to be really a key partner in this key technology initiative which government of Karnataka is trying to do for the state. So, I mean, as I said, I mean, I will not spend too much time and just tell you what is really happening in the outside world and why this is so critical from a technology point of view. I think everybody sees that the world around is changing very fast. I think there is no doubt and debate on this. And this is not restricted to one particular area or one particular industries. I mean, you see this across across industries, you see this across the sectors, you see across anything and everything which you do or we do or impacts our life. It's changing very, very fast. The good thing on all this logic is, I think all the changes, what is happening, it's primarily driven by technology. And I think I still remember 5 years or 7 years or 10 years back, when you used to always talk, I mean, we are a company which operates in this particular segment, and we have these other competitors, we need to take care of it. I think in the last 3, 4, 5 years, I think that thing is completely blurred. I mean, you cannot no longer say that I compete in this space and they compete in that space. The technology has made sure that the competition is completely overlapping with each other, and you cannot say that I am going to be leading this stuff and I have full faith that I will continue to lead this. It is not possible. And that's the reason why you see examples like the company which owns the biggest hotel chain doesn't own any hotel property. It was unseen 5 years back. Or you see an example like the biggest operating system company runs the biggest infrastructure company in the world. So you see a lot of these examples. The footwear is also a classical example. The biggest footwear company is the biggest health platform company in the world. So you see this. So you cannot say that I was coming from a sports industry and now you are the biggest health platform company in the world. And that's where the power of technology comes in. And if you look in a two-level detail, I think you just realize that these innovations are actually happening at an intersection point, an intersection happening between the human to machine, machine to machine, between the industries, leveraging the key topics or the technologies like the data, like the cloud, the mobility, which is massive in India, the penetration of the mobile, which is creating, I don't know how many business models and which will disrupt how many business models. And one such example is, of course, blockchain. I think I really feel and genuinely feel that a lot of the existing business models which the company operates or the industry operate will be disrupted via blockchain. And the reason is very simple, because it will have a flowless movement of the transactions happening across industries, between systems, between human to machine, machine to human, and all those aspects which happen. And that's why blockchain is a critical aspect of creating those new business models, whatever you operate and however you operate. I think overall, if you look at a blockchain, I think it is actually started to evolve. I mean, it started becoming much more bigger than the cryptocurrency. I think people are starting to understand the value of blockchain. But one thing you need to be also very careful is, I think you need the right use case or the business case to apply those the blockchain functionalities if you want to have a real value out of it. I mean, example in SAP, we do the smart contracts. I mean, a smart contract between us and a vendor, and it is available with us, and it's available with the vendors and all of the community people. So you need to rightly identify those aspects, and if you put this in the right context, you start creating the value in terms of the revenue generations, the efficiency, the legality, and all those non-compliance and all those things which can happen in the past can be avoided using blockchain. So I will just encourage you that if you are thinking about leveraging these technologies, identify the right value or the business case which can really take values. I think I was also discussing with the ministers. I think they've identified these 5 cases, and I think I just really appreciate, because I think you're not just opening the sessions and taking everyone and anyone to do anything on blockchain, because that doesn't add value. I think you need to start coming to a stage where you start those problem areas where the technology can help you to solve the problem. So I just really want to thank everyone. We are very happy partner. We are happy to partner with Government of Karnataka and ITBT for this initiative. And as Mr. Gaurav already mentioned, I think one of the reasons I'm here is because we, along with the Government of Karnataka and ITBT, have an agreement now to, as a part of this Yuva Yuga initiative, to train 15,000 people in 3 years. And we are one of the biggest R&D centers across the world in Bangalore here. We want to leverage the employees and the colleagues with those skills on machine learning and the blockchain, and to train this close to 15,000 people in the next 3 years with a very simple purpose. I think we are targeting the employees or the youth who don't have an access to the knowledge base. We want to just train them in the right ways so that they can be employable. So the target for this year, for 2018, is we want to train close to 5,000 people. And we internally kept a target that we just not want to just train people, but we just really want to help at least 50% of the people, which is close to 2,500 this year, to at least get certain kind of a job on those skills which they acquired, which is very key and critical as a part of the initiative. So we are looking forward for this in close collaboration with the foundation partner, the NASCOM, and I think we run this kind of initiative across the countries for the skill development. But I think this very specifically targeted to the niche skills which we want to inbuild to the youth, which can be really leveraged and taken care in generating the employee opportunities in this state. So again, thanks from my side. It's been a pleasure coming here, and I always tell this. I think Bangalore is a city which has a lot of energy because of course, a lot of companies which are there, but of course, a lot of youth who wants to create their own companies. And I would just encourage everyone to leverage those technologies, create new companies, create and generate more value, generate more jobs for the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dilip Kumar, and may we request him to present this letter of intent for 5,000 trainees under Yuva Yuga, and this will be presented to Honorable Minister Shri Priyank Kharge. Thank you so much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Mover stands before you for a special address. Honorable Minister for IT and BT Tourism, Government of Karnataka, please welcome Shri Priyank Kharge.
Dignitaries on stage, ladies and gentlemen, Ellarigu Namaskara. Firstly, I would like to compliment Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Ms. Salma Fahim, Mr. Rajkumar Srivatsa. I don't know where he's disappeared, when you need him the most. Okay. And Mr. Jairam and the EY team for organizing India's most disruptive blockchain conclave. And the two reasons I say that it is disruptive is firstly and primarily because none of you off stage think that government can do something out of the box. And the second reason why I think it is most disruptive is because that none of you again think that government can do anything out of the box successfully. So that's why I would like to congratulate the entire team that's here. But here we are today at the threshold of what could be history to identify opportunities and challenges for the use of blockchain technology in governance, a topic which has assumed center stage not only in India but also globally. Blockchain is perhaps the most intriguing technologies currently being debated across the world, as it has the potential to alter the landscape of multiple industries and make processes more democratic, secure, transparent, and efficient, both creatively and disruptively. One thing that people across the spectrum, be it entrepreneurs, VCs, corporates, governments, and startups, all agree upon is that blockchain is a revolutionary technology that needs to be analyzed very carefully before making it a people's technology. And blockchain, which is probably, like Mr. Prakash put it, is mostly known as the nerve center technology for cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, which does, and it does have its benefits, as it has brought in a great disruption in the financial sector as the distributed ledger technology. It enables users to control all of their information and transactions. It's a 24/7 transaction, enabling it to be faster and, of course, lowering transaction costs. Since it is viewable in public, it becomes more transparent and less likely to be altered maliciously. The technology takes away the need for a third-party intermediation due to its process integrity, thereby increasing its reliability and longevity and making blockchain technology complete, consistent, and accurate, empowering its users. Probably the main reason for the hampered investments in blockchain is because of the lack of awareness of the working of the technology, especially in sectors other than banking. And that is exactly what we are trying to do here. And as usual, I was discussing with the MD of SABS, Mr. Dilip, and we were talking about how the policies and regulations are always playing catch-up to technology. Because we are not ready, because technology is ever-changing dynamically, and the policies and regulations and the rules that we need to have in place to ensure that the technology thrives are not really in place. And we are just trying to figure that out here today. And for a classic example being the Bitcoin blockchain itself. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin currencies. We don't know whether to buy or not, and Prakash was asking what is the value of Bitcoin. And quite naturally, everybody wants to buy it, but nobody knows what to do with it. But that's because we don't have a regulatory idea for that. And the Bitcoin technology itself, or the cryptocurrency technology itself is bypassing all regulations, and it's taking the inefficiencies in the conventional payment methods, and it's actually giving the regulatory bodies and structures quite a nightmare. And there's a strong argument for blockchain applications to work within existing regulatory structures and not outside of them. But this is also means that regulators and authorities across sectors have to understand the technology and its impact on their business processes, businesses, and consumers. And as usual, like I said, we are trying to play catch-up. And recently, during the budget also, Mr. Jaitley, the Honorable Minister for Finance, he did mention cryptocurrencies. He said it was illegal, but then he said we'll see the use cases. So again, you don't know what to do with it. So, but it is banned, but still it is not banned. And we still have to wait. I think probably the best way to do that is wait for Mr. Adani or Ambani to figure this out and make it legal. I think that's the only way the government of India will listen. So, but more seriously, technologies that have creative and disruptive, that are creative and disruptive in nature require time to develop, mature, and find acceptance to unleash their full potential. Because we need to understand that the broader use of technology in efficient and secure manner as blockchain technology could become a game changer across all verticals. And we also need to understand that these technology cannot be leveraged instantly. Like example, we talk a lot about internet being so accessible now. so affordable now, mobile phones being so cheap now, smartphones being, the penetration of smartphones being going right into the villages of India. Everybody has a smartphone now in the rural areas. But we need to understand that it did not happen overnight. Whether it was the internet revolution or the mobile technology, it took its time, almost probably 2-3 decades maybe, to have this kind of disruption. So we need to explore and understand this technology better if we want to make it a people's technology. And more importantly, we need to understand how to use this technology in governance. How can I use this to give a better delivery system for the citizens? And that's the whole idea of this conclave. We want to understand how blockchain works for the government, and we need to understand how it will be used as a better delivery mechanism also for everyone. And that is the reason why we hosted the blockchain conclave. And I think it was probably India's biggest blockchain conclave hackathon. And when we did this, I was quite surprised. I thought when we announced the blockchain hackathon, I think even EY did not anticipate 500 to 600 registrations in less than 2 weeks. And when we got that registration, it was like an overwhelming response. And I have seen in other hackathons wherein people come in, they are there for half a day, then they figure out that maybe their solution does not work, and by the end of the hackathon, that is after 48 hours, nobody is there except for a handful of 10-15 people. But here, what we saw is that out of the 80 teams that were there, out of the 500 people were there, I think 90% of them stayed back to showcase their solution and showcase their codes to the government. And we did not have some random hackathon wherein we opened the entire technology and say like, you can do what you want. We gave 5 use cases which was deliberated and debated within the government departments, and we asked different departments. We have one of our brightest minds here, Mr. Ajay Seth, also here with us, Principal Secretary, and what affected the department is what we took. And we threw open the challenge to them. So the idea was to see if blockchain technology can actually solve real-life problems. So if we are able to do that, we will be able to use it in governance. So when we had this 2-day, 3-day hackathon, we actually found that most of them could be used. And I was very surprised at the quality of the coders that we found. Here I was just telling Mr. Dilip as well, saying that how is it that we can ensure that we stimulate the entire ecosystem by partnering? Because I am not, trust me, the government is not the best partner to ensure that next technology, the emerging technologies are stimulated. I can only facilitate. It's only when I have valued partners like SAP, I can ensure that the technology is incubated and be given a conducive environment for innovations and inventions. Otherwise, I can just probably have another hackathon. And if the use cases are good enough, I can use it in government, which is, of course, the biggest data provider or data creator. But then how do I ensure it is brought out even in entrepreneurship, even in startups, is only when I partner with the private sector, and that's what we intend to do. And I take this opportunity also to call upon startups to come forward to help us understand what this technology is, to help us formulate policies, regulations, rules for it. Because if we don't do that, I think we will be losing out on losing out being global players. Because right now, Bengaluru is now positioned as a global player in research and development. We are number 4 in the global scenario and number 13 in the startup ecosystem. And if I want to break into the top 10 in the innovation ecosystem, and I want to be number 1 in R&D, I need to ensure that I hear what the startups want. I hear what the disruptors want. I hear what the innovators want. So I also urge upon startups to come to us, talk to us, help us, let us know what is it that you want us to do so that we can ensure this technology is unleashed to its potential. Because you will be quite surprised, in spite of all these advances in technology, I can still ban Uber because they're not under my Motor Vehicles Act. I can still ban Redbus because it's not under my policy as of now. So it's not only with Karnataka, it's there even in London. In fact, in London also they had banned Uber for 10 days, for 10 days or 15 days. At least we have not done that. Because when they came out with their policy, there was nothing called carpooling. But now there is something called carpooling, or there was nothing called aggregation of taxis. So the reason why I'm insisting upon startups and the private sector to come forward and give government suggestions is because we don't want to lag behind. We want to be global players, and the only way to be global players is to think ahead through our policies. So if we are able to collaborate with that, I'm sure that we can provide a very conducive environment for ideation, innovation, and invention. And I think, lastly, in conclusion, I would not like to take much of your time because there are, I think, people from all over the globe also here today. We have some excellent speakers, and I'm sure that you would want to hear them speak rather than me speak, and because they have the immense knowledge and experience to take this to the next level. But with all the positives that is going for this technology, we still have to understand this much more deeply. And I'm not sure how many of you have read Arthur C. Clarke here. Has anybody read Arthur C. Clarke here? Okay, 1 or 2, 3. So, so he's one of my favorite science fiction authors, and he says that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And although we are all excited about the magic of blockchain, there is still a lot of challenges that need to be addressed by the ecosystem. I'm sure that this conclave will provide the unique platform to all stakeholders for creating potential opportunities for meeting grounds and build a mutually benefiting partnerships that will benefit all stakeholders, including the government. So before I walk off this stage, I would also like to thank Mr. Dilip over here, who has been kind enough and who have been traditionally valued partners with the government of Karnataka. But today I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks for partnering with the government of Karnataka's flagship program, Yuva Yuga, which aims to make our graduates or dropouts more employable. So one of the challenges that we face is how can I make our graduates more employable? So this program is devised so that we partner with industry and we train graduates to suit the industry needs. So today I'm grateful to SAP Labs for agreeing to partner with the government of Karnataka for training 5,000 youth in emerging technologies. Although our target is 1.1 lakh, SAP has taken up 5,000, and I'm sure that this target will be met by the year end by collaborating with different partners as well. And the intention is to, the reason why we came up with this program of Yuva Yuga, or the age or the era of the youth, is to ensure that we remain leaders in the thing. So I always say that India is a very fiercely competitive country. We don't compete with China, we don't compete with America, we don't compete with the European Union, we compete amongst ourselves. So as soon as I announce, let's say I announce an aerospace park of 5,000 acres, my neighbors are going to announce a 10,000 acre park. Free water, free electricity, no tax, even the government also will work for them. So we are fiercely competitive. So I have a Invest Karnataka, they have a Invest Maharashtra, they have a Invest Jharkhand, they have a Invest Telangana. So the idea is not to have parks. The idea of government of Karnataka is to ensure that I build an excellent knowledge society. I build a society that is excellent in skill, that is skilled, and I build a society that is looking forward for emerging technologies. If I'm able to do this, I will be able to give probably the best environment for ideation, innovation, and invention. And if I'm able to give these three things, I'm sure investments will follow. And I think that is the reason why SAP Labs has been investing in Karnataka and not Hyderabad. Because nobody else, trust me, I mean, nobody else can give you this environment. Land anybody can give you, water anybody can give you, but can anybody give you an environment of skill? Can anybody give you an environment of knowledge? Can anybody give you an environment of innovation? No, these things can't be built overnight. We have strived for more than 35, 40 years for this. And that is what makes Karnataka unique, and that's what makes Bengaluru unique. And that's why we are called the innovation hub of India. That's why we are called the R&D hub of India. And that's where and if we want to be global players, we need to understand emerging technologies better. It could be AI, it could be big data, machine learning, animation, gaming, aerospace, space, everything. So Mr. Dilip was quite surprised on what we have been doing so far. And let me assure you, sir, all the topics that we spoke are things that we have already done, not what I'm planning to do. So in the last 1 year, I was telling him that we have helped more than 400 startups. And I have given grants to more than 250 startups. That's almost like one startup every 1.5 days. No state government can boast of these numbers. And we have started centers of excellence in AI, machine learning, cyber security, big data, centers of excellence in animation along with post-production labs. We have a center of excellence in, what's the other one? Aerospace and space. We are trying to see if we can get one center of excellence from for agri-tech, so wherein we talk about lab to farm, farm to retail, retail to plate. So how do we bridge this entire thing? So we are coming up with these entire small, quick interventions to ensure that we are leaders in emerging technologies. And these centers of excellence are not just going to be some kind of a stopgap arrangement. They're going to deliver skill sets. They're going to have incubation centers. These incubation centers will have mentors. They'll have idea validation facilities. They'll have, if the startups who are registered there want to do a pilot with government, we'll be allowing that. And we'll be having even probably we'll be giving them seed fund or grants, or even if they want to have access to venture capitals, we'll be giving them that as well. So we are trying to create this entire ecosystem for emerging technologies to ensure that we remain the global, we become the global leaders for innovations and inventions. And today, I think when SAP is tying up with the government of Karnataka to train 5,000 people in emerging technologies, I'm sure that more of these people will come forward and become entrepreneurs. So today, if we are having this entrepreneurship spirit here in Karnataka, it is because that we have delivered the skill sets some 10 years back. And today, those people are becoming entrepreneurs. And they are inspiring a lot of other people to be entrepreneurs as well. So that is the reason why we have such a great environment for startups here. So I'm not trying, I'll not take much of your time. And the idea is to ensure that the government of Karnataka collaborates more with the private sector. We understand emerging technologies better to ensure that we build a bolder, better, and a more innovative Karnataka so that we remain the creative and disruptive leaders across the globe, not just lead India to the next century. So I'm sure that this conclave over here is a step towards that. And I would like to thank all the speakers who have come from across the globe, who have, I think it was on a very short notice, and most of them have made it, and I'm really grateful for all of you for accepting the government of Karnataka's invitation for the blockchain conclave. And of course, we have our valued partners here within the country as well, who have been, who make us look good actually. So a lot of people give us credit that we are doing it, but it's because of valued people like you that the government of Karnataka looks good on this stage. So thank you so much for having us over, and thank you so much for your participation. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Help us understand and think ahead. Motivating words by Honorable Minister of IT and BT, Government of Karnataka, Shri Priyank Kharge. Thank you so much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, make way for those two magical words, thank you. Vote of thanks to be proposed by Director ITBT and MD KBITS, Ms. Salma K. Fahim.
A very warm good morning to all of you once again. It's going to be a very exciting day today. There are a lot of sessions that have been lined up, right from blockchain and governance to the social impact of blockchain as well as cryptocurrencies. It will also be followed up with presentations by the startups and the hackers who worked on the hackathon use cases and problem patterns a fortnight ago. But for this event to have been brought together and for this entire thing to have been put into place, I would like to thank our Honorable Minister for IT, BT and Tourism, Shri Priyank Kharge. Thank you so much, sir, for being the visionary that you are and also leading the government, leading the Karnataka government and putting us in a place where we are foremost in the disruptive technology space today. To use your own words, I think I should thank you for making this government do something out of the box, and not only just that, but out of the box successfully as well. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank our Principal Secretary, Shri Gaurav Gupta, sir, for liaising with all the government departments in helping us develop these use cases, and also collaborating with our partners like ENY and IEEE to put this entire thing together. Thank you, sir. And I would also like to thank Shri Jairam and his team, who have worked very closely with our department and also with our advisor, sir, Rajkumar Srivastav, sir, who has curated this entire event along with the speakers and everything else to be taken care of. I would especially like to thank Mr. Khandelwal today here for committing to train about 5,000 candidates this year, over the years, under our very prestigious Yuva Yoga program. And we hope that because of these trainings, our youth will be able to benefit from job creation that will happen or will follow. I would also like to thank our other partners like IEEE, Active, ACT, and everyone who has worked together with us on this. Besides that, of course, all the speakers who have come here today from abroad as well as from our other partnering states to share their knowledge as well as insights with us on blockchain and how to take this new technology forward. Besides, yeah, I think I've covered everyone. So thank you so much. Have a good day today, and we'll meet again in the evening to listen to for the prize distribution of the hackathon winners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, together we make it happen for Blockchain Conclave and also for Karnataka.